It has been a while since I've been at home to film a video because I've just been cycling all over the place, and so I felt like this was the perfect time to do this particular video, which is how to travel with your bicycle on holiday, basically how to get your bike to your chosen destination. So there are three main ways that you can have a bike on holiday. I'm going to be going through those, the pros and cons of each, so you can decide which one is going to be best for you. So the first one is taking your own bike in your own bike box or bike bag. So this is the one that I have used for all of my trips apart from one. And I used to use a cardboard box, and now I use a B&W hard case box. And yeah, that is what I've used the majority of the time. And I guess the pros of that are when you're taking your own bike, it's your own bike, you know how it fits, you know it's going to be comfortable to ride. So that is one of the main pros, that it's your own bike. Another pro is when you're packing it into the box, you can put whatever you want in that box. Obviously it's got to be in the weight limit, but I always take like my clothes in there. I sometimes take some food, and I sometimes have been known to take a rice cooker away with me because I always want to have nicely cooked rice on hand because I cannot cook rice in a pan to save my life. So I always have a rice cooker, and it's always with you. So you've always got your bike like with you. So that's another bonus of that. But equally, that is kind of a con because getting it to the airport can be a bit of a faff if you've got a massive either cardboard box without wheels or like a hard case box. It's going to be quite heavy, so that can be a bit of a faff sometimes, especially if there's a few of you go and you've got to get 2 or 3 big bike boxes into like a taxi. So that can be a bit of a con.
Yeah, I think so.
Are we in? That is brilliant. 4 people, 4 bikes, 1 car. Which isn't always ideal. And it can also make getting to the airport more expensive because you've got to pay for a minibus or whatever to take all that stuff to the airport. So yeah, they are the main pros and cons of taking your own bike in your own bike box or bag. The second option is one that I've used recently when I went to Italy for the Lombardia Sportif. And this was with a company called Sherpa. This is not a sponsored video. I just used them when I went there just to see what it was like, and I thought it might be good for some of you out there who wanted to not have the hassle of getting to and from the airport with your bike. So basically what they do is they send you out a box, whether you pay for either a hard case or like a very thick like plastic case. You pack your bike into it, and then basically someone picks it up and takes it to your destination so that when you arrive it's already there. So, which I think is a really, really good idea. They also specialise in doing like events and triathlons, so like the Mallorca 312 and other big like sportif events. So if you were doing something like that and you wanted like to have less hassle of doing that, then that is an option. I think the pros of that are, again, that you don't have to take it to the airport yourself. So when I used them, I was able to then get a bus and a train to the airport, which was way cheaper than me getting a taxi. So that was one major pro of it. Another pro of it was you don't have the hassle at the airport at the other end trying to get your bike box either into a taxi or on like public transport. You can get like buses and trains to your destination. And then when I got to the hotel, it was already there waiting, which I really, really liked. However, like as with all these options, there are cons. So obviously having something picked up and then dropped off when you return home, you've got to wait. So I think the time was between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. for pick up and drop off. And if you're working, it can be a bit of a pain. And so I know they are working to try and get a 1-hour slot, which would be way better. So for example, on the way back, when they were picking it up from the hotel in Italy, the time slot on the Monday was between 9 and 6. And I wasn't leaving till like 2 that day. So some of the other guys that were there went on a ride in the morning and I couldn't. So that wasn't ideal really. So yeah, that's a con as well. And then also another con was when obviously it's going to take time to come back. So I think it took 2 days on the way back for me to get my bike back. So if you've got more than one bike, it's fine. But if that's your sole bike and you want to ride it as soon as you get home, you're going to have to wait a couple of days for it to get back. So they've all got pros and cons. I'm just being honest with you to tell you and help you figure out really which is the best for you. And then finally, the last one is rental, which I've never done, so I feel a little bit bad putting this in there because I can't give you the my experience of it. However, I can see the pros and cons of it. So the pros are with renting a bike, you don't have the hassle of any of that. You literally just get there's a bike waiting for you ready, you ride it and you drop it off. So you don't have to pay any of the fees on aeroplanes, because it can be quite expensive taking your bike on short haul flights. So I think Ryanair is the worst. I avoid it at all costs. It's £60 each way to take your bike. I think they just don't want cyclists on their flights. And then I think EasyJet is £42 each way, so it can be quite expensive doing that. So that is a pro, that you don't have to pay any of that cash. What's another pro of it? Yeah, I guess it's less faff getting to and from the airport again. But the cons of it, I personally just want to ride my own bike. I don't want another bike. Even if it's a higher spec bike, I want to ride my bike. Whereas my friend Richard, he goes away for long weekends and rents, and he's really happy with that. He likes that. And for him, it can be like a bit of a treat that he's going to get a higher spec bike than what he's already got. So that is a pro, but for me, it's a con, because I want my bike. But they are the options. So you've got those 3 different options. I'm going to leave all the links in the description box for Sherpa if you are wanting to get your bike couriered, because I know it's a very new company, and I think it is a good idea. So if you are wanting to get any of that, the links are there. And let me know which one you prefer, which one you've used. And yeah, like I say, for each of them, there are pros and cons to all of them. And so, yeah, it's just picking which is going to suit you for your trip. So yes, I can breathe now. It feels weird actually being back here filming. I've not been filming in here for so long. It feels quite odd. But yeah, I better get back used to it for the winter. But I have got a lot of exciting trips and races and videos planned. So yeah, my videos are going to be going up on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as always, around 5 o'clock. This one is probably going to be a bit late, but oh well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it helpful. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next video.